every single week. Please take a moment to introduce yourself if you haven't done so already to the people at the table. Exchange cards. We can do business building interviews and one-to-ones anytime in the next year with each other. Right? A little bit of housekeeping. Everybody pull out your phone. Turn it on silent. Mute, stun, vibrate. Off, pleasure mode. Anything that isn't ringing, singing, or entertaining us.
You were saying?
Joining us today is our Director Consultant, Lyndon Holdeman, who's been launched the Money Train chapter. Right here at Q2. We heard a lot of that at leadership training, a lot of train tooting. I'm Leslie Taylor, the Director. We've got a couple of new members. I think Lance is our newest member here. Lance is the newest member. Welcome. This is such a wonderful opportunity for us to share information with each other. BNI has added the tagline, changing the way the world does business. And boy, let me tell you, we really are. Just spent 4 days with 450 directors from 48 countries. We've opened in 4 new cities in Vietnam. The average chapter size in Vietnam is 36, passing over 100 referrals a month because they are so excited, just because they've learned from all the things from people have been doing for 27 years. We're sharing lots and lots of stories, and we're all going to become better at sharing stories. Those of you that have been in sales, they say that facts tell and stories sell. So we're all going to learn better how to tell stories and share them. Last year, the European countries all had a video competition, a BNI video competition. And for those of you that haven't seen some of the videos that came out, they are hysterically funny, very, very witty, and we've got some extremely talented people in the world doing videos about BNI. But we're going to learn here in the U.S. how to actually combine social media and face-to-face networking and sharing stories. At the first of the year, we're going to be able to have chapter webmasters so that we can start putting videos and pictures and a lot of things on the chapter websites, which all of you have all seen already. So we're absolutely launching things and changing the way the world does business. And this leads to more referrals, more members, and then more closed business. For those of you that have run a business BNI meeting, you know that BNI passes millions of referrals, which translates into billions of dollars in closed business. And as we get better at setting business goals and chapter goals, then more money is being closed, changing the way the world does business. In the last 12 months, we've already, in a down economy, we've passed almost 13,000 referrals. Just here with 300 people. That's an awful lot of referrals. Get yourself a business. And finding people to introduce to our fellow BNI members, just to bring them so that they can meet the fellow BNI members. Some become customers, some become clients, some become patients, some just talk about their friends about BNI. And some of them join the chapters. But more importantly, we're introducing BNI to a lot more people so that when they go back home or go out and talk to friends and somebody says BNI, it actually makes sense to them. They've heard of it before instead of saying, what's that? And then it's like trying to give a haircut over the phone. They're saying, well, it's kind of like this, and here's what we do. And they go, sit down, wait. So far, though, we did say that it was a down economy. Is anybody slower than they were last year? A little bit? Better. Well, here's the reality. So far, 300 people locally have closed over $51 million in business here. Now, Winston Churchill is very famous for saying we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Today, in honor of Thanksgiving, being thankful, showing gratitude, giving to others. We're here to honor those who have stepped up above and beyond, who continue to give in so many different ways. So I'm going to turn this over to Leslie Rogers to talk about something that we can do as an organization. We've got 300 people here in Las Vegas, so 325 people. So where's Leslie? Come on, Les, stand up. It's the other Leslie. You all have a handout in front of you, and Leslie's going to come explain about our bell ringing and something that we can do to give back. BNI, the BNI Meisner Foundation, over the last year gave over $200,000 globally to the Red Cross and to other cities that had crisis. And in India, we built a school. $17,000 built a school.
Isn't that amazing?
The people, the girls that are in this school have been rescued from the white slave trade. Right?
White slavery
The
trade.
sex trade as slaves.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. And they are housed and given a school, and $17,000 is what BNI donated and actually built the school. So we are doing a lot globally. Let's think locally. Leslie Rogers, come on up and tell us about it.
Come on, Leslie.
Good morning, everybody. By the way, I forgot my bell. Did you know?
There's an app for that.
There's an app for that. Okay, this is our BNI kettle. If you notice on the sign, it says your bell ringer is a volunteer member of BNI, local business, global network. So when you ring the bell, you're supporting Salvation Army, you're supporting BNI and encouraging other people to learn more about BNI. You're supporting your own business, calling and getting in touch, reaching out to all of your clients, friends, family, having them come to the Smiths at the corner of Rancho and Charleston to stuff your bucket during your 3-hour tour. Your 3-hour tour, either 10 to 1 or 3 to 6 in the evening, and there will be a kettle waiting for you and a bell. The stand will be staying at the store, and you can sign up. The paper is in front of you, www.mysignup.com/kettles, Kettles. Couldn't be simpler than that. When you go to My Sign Up, the first 2 rows, all the way across through all the dates from next Friday the 25th through Christmas Eve, are the first and second shift for the BNI kettle each day. So fill that in for me. I've only got about 5 or 6 BNIers right now, so I need some more, about 48 more, 50 more.
50 people, we figured we could fill 50 shifts out of 300 people.
That's what I thought. Don't disappoint me. I have such faith in us as an organization. So step out and do that. Any other questions that you have will be answered either on that little piece of paper, or you can call me. You can also text to give, and the instructions are there. I'm sorry, my phone's ringing. How rude. I wanted you to hear my bell. So I'll turn off my phone now. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, BNI.
Those of you that have no idea, thinking, why would we choose to do this? In a conversation with Leslie, I had an aha moment, and they call it a BFO, a blinding flash of the obvious. In case you didn't know it, between 80 and 95% of the money collected locally stays locally.
Actually, between about 90 to 92%, depending on the time of year, money stays right here. And this week we're doing Thanksgiving for I don't even know how many people. We do 1,900 hot meals a day between 2 of our kitchens, and about 200 food baskets, bags, boxes out of our family services. We have 23 programs. We do everything from drug and alcohol and gambling rehabilitation, mental health services, senior services, daycare, and apartments. We have low-income apartments. We have, I can't even begin to tell you all the things that the Salvation Army does. That's what this money's used for, and it all stays in Clark County, a little bit in Nye County because we have kettles in Pahrump, so we have that on the side.
So here's the deal. I'm talking with Leslie, and she said if they don't have enough volunteers, they have to pay somebody to ring the bells. So they're losing money having people stand out and ring bells. And I thought, my gosh, BNI members could sit and chit-chat and do a 3-hour one-to-one, buddy up, and call their friends and just sit and ring the bell for 3 hours.
thought.
That's what I thought. So I hope that this is something that you can do. If you have 3 hours out of your life that you can donate, that would be wonderful. It would be very much appreciated. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, everybody.
Partner.
Leslie, could you turn that into a power team meeting?
We could turn it into a power team meeting, and you could text all of your clients and say, come visit me. I'm going to be at the corner of Charleston and Rancho at the Smiths. And I've got a couple of business associates I want you to meet. Absolutely. We are the most creative people in the world. And so as we were meeting with these 450 directors and 1,000 BNI members from Southern California, we had an opportunity to watch Dr. Meisner be very embarrassed because he introduced the new book that's coming out in January. Luckily, we all got to go, and there were 3 authors. Dr. Meisner, for those of you that have never met Ivan, he is the statistics guy. He's the numbers guy. He measures everything, and he provided the statistics. Co-authors, I don't know, if you've known these, I know these 2 people for years. Hazel Walker has the she says, and Frank Durafoli does he says. Business, networking, and sex. Not what you think. And it will be, they've actually already gotten an interview with Playboy to talk about networking and sex, because it's about gender, not about sex, and how the different genders network. And how we can help each other because we network differently. It's an amazing book. It's got some wonderful information. And so we're going to have those available. I brought back a bunch of the books so every chapter can have one for their library. Yay? Too busy chewing to yay? Okay, so that one didn't impress you. How about a 10-year BNI member from Las Vegas who co-wrote a book with Ivan called Money on the Table, Referrals in the Bank. An entire book about power teams and how to really make those power teams work together. So we ended up bringing back this book. So it's a wonderful, wonderful book to help us. Several of you have heard about the Saturday morning webinars and calls that they're doing so that they can help people plan and put together the power teams in their chapters. A micro community within the chapter that about half the business ends up being referred back and forth. So we're going to get much, much better about putting together power teams. So one of our BNI members ended up driving to Long Beach, much to my amazement and thrill. So Irv, are you in the building? I thought I saw you come in. Where'd you go? Irv, come on up and tell us a little bit about going to Long Beach.
Thank you, Leslie. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Everybody looks awake. That's good news. Joe's even stage today. It's a red letter day. As Leslie said, I went to the meeting last week in Long Beach, and it was a gathering primarily of directors from all over the country and all over the world. And a few members were invited, so I wanted to go also. Part of why I wanted to go is because years ago, I'm a lawyer, and I do real estate and corporate transactions. And years ago, I used to do quite a bit of work for international clients, particularly Japanese. And then they kind of quit coming to Las Vegas. And I thought it would be an interesting opportunity to meet some Japanese people. And so Leslie gave me the name of someone who's the head of the BNI chapter in Tokyo, Japan. And I communicated with him on BNI Connect, right? The international email system, and he and I set up an appointment before we even got to Long Beach, and I got to meet with him. And while I was there, I met directors from, I can't think of how many countries, Japan, Israel, India, New Zealand, Australia, England, France, I could just keep going. Taiwan had a big one, and it was a great opportunity, and they all epitomized the Givers Gain philosophy. I remember I was meeting with the individual from Tokyo, we talked for a few minutes, and he said, "What can I do to help you?" And I told him
Amazing.
what I was looking for, and then I asked him the same thing, and he gave me very specific ideas of referrals he would like to have. I enjoyed that. I think the other thing I enjoyed the most was the presentation Leslie was just discussing about sex, as in gender. Joe, sit down. But the differences between men and women, you know, there are stereotypical differences, but he taught me a lot about how we need to approach things and how men and women, particularly when they're networking, need to kind of, I guess, modify their presentations so that they can be mutually beneficial. Generally speaking, men kind of say, hi, my name is so-and-so, how can you refer me business? Whereas the generalization was women will say, hi, my name is so-and-so, tell me about your dog and your family. And we somehow have to mesh it. But I had a great time, I enjoyed it very much. And Stephen Covey's presentation, I have 2 pages of notes on that. He talked about the speed of trust, and I would encourage all of you to listen to what he has to say and read his book. And he talked about how if you develop trust, transactions happen a lot more quickly. And I see that, and the costs go way down. And I see that in my business all the time. If you can trust opposing lawyers and clients, you can settle things. If you can't trust, they drag out forever and cost a lot of money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. One of the things that Stephen Covey said that is if you extend trust, you get trust back. In this city, in this economy, how many of you have been extended trust to someone and not had it work out well in this town? So it's once burned, twice shy. Twice burned, I don't trust anybody. So in BNI, sometimes it takes longer than it normally would to establish trust with each other. Stephen M.R. Covey did something that no other keynote speaker in the last 5 years has done, and that is make the audio available to us, with the understanding that we wouldn't copy it. And we said, sure, no problem. So I can get more of the presentation. I brought back a few. I wanted to give one to Irv because he was there and he left before the audios were available. So if those of you would like to get some, I can get one. But it is an amazing presentation that talks an awful lot about how we do build trust. And part of that is practicing Givers Gain and being competent at what we do. And that's very important so that we know that we can trust if we refer our best client, somebody's going to take care of them. So we have a lot of people who have stepped up to the plate and have helped us to grow our chapters and grow as business people. How many of you have gotten a referral that the business closed this year in the last 12 months? So I guess it must be working. So Lyndon's going to hand out some awards. I'm going to help him. We're going to help each other. And we're going to do this and get her done. Here you go. I'll hand out. Let me get out of your way and I'll give you the ones that you need. Good service for, what do you think? Yeah. Just tell them we're going to pause for a photo op. I'm going to read that.
Okay, for those of you that have been here other years, you're probably familiar with this, but some of you, a lot of you are new to BNI, and what we're going to be doing next is giving what the Givers Gain Award, which goes to a member from each chapter that really exemplifies what Givers Gain is all about. And so, the key thing to realize is that they were nominated from other members of their chapter. And so we're excited about this. I think it's one of the coolest things we do every year at this event. And so the award, I'm going to go ahead and read the first one, and then we'll of course pass them out. So the little things you do each day have the power to affect a great many people. You inspire us with your willingness and ability to help others. You take on the world one day at a time, continuously searching for a way to make things better, seizing the opportunity to improve everyday life. You make a world of difference. And of course, an amazing cool pin says leading by example. So that's what you get. We're going to start with, my photographer has asked me to tell you Wayne Wallace, by the way. From the Givers Gain chapter. As asked whenever you go to get your award, if you would please pause for the photo. So let him do his job. So, okay. Okay, the first chapter, the Moneymakers chapter. This individual, quite a bit of nominations. It's always exciting to see what the fellow chapter members are saying. But JB has a past. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to say his name. I'm good at this. He has a passion for BNI and is always willing to do what it takes to make our chapter grow. This is what other founders are saying. He doesn't just try to do everything himself, but tries to motivate others to help make our chapter the best it can be. Even after meetings, he is always the person I turn to when I have a BNI-related question about our chapter. He helps new customers come up with taglines, help others remember what they're doing. He's willing to help them with one-minute management, help them improve, always on time to meetings, always friendly. Awesome guy. JB Bowman, come on up. Oh, everybody doing good. Congratulations.
Come on, buddy. In the middle. Again. Certificate. I have to tell you, JB is so good at putting together taglines, he wrote a poem on his nomination. Just continues to do those things. While Lyndon's looking for the next one, I'll talk about the art of networking. Oh my goodness. Everything this person does is over the top. Does everything for the BNI members, always willing to help the people we've referred him. An amazing guy, builds goodwill, energizes our group, willing to do any job, always does a good job, never says no, never absent without a sub, and then when the sub comes, they are so well prepared. It's a farmer with a great spirit that comes to relationship marketing, a wonderful person to be around, abundance, I love this phrase, abundance, has such an abundance of delicious, healthy fruits that fall from his tree everywhere he goes. That's the farming mentality. And lastly, he's 53 and nothing hurts the bastard. Peter Randall. I just read it. I didn't write it.
Thank you. Thanks.
For those in the art of networking chapter, you know what that means.
For those of you who don't do a one-to-one with Dr. Randall.
Exactly. For those of you who don't, do it one-to-one with Dr. Randall, and you know. Okay. From the Money Train chapter.
They meet at lunch, by the way.
They meet at lunch, yeah. So there's only about three of them that are, one that's awake, and three that are. Okay. She goes out of her way to give quality referrals, has attention to detail, is a great example from our chapter who consistently gives out referrals. Very pleasant demeanor, always nice to talk to. Attention, key thing is, wait until last to say this because we'll give away who it is. Attention to detail, set up finances of the chapter, and work to put all the systems in place. And the new chapter has been an amazing core of the chapter, an awesome person. Please welcome for Givers Gain Award, who's not here, receiving in her stead. Anyway, Xiaoqing Liu. President of Lakeland Chapter, Joe Whitlock. Referral Pros chapter is next. Awesome. Always excited to talk about Referral Pros in my home. Okay. He is always about the other person. Givers Gain, right? He listens intently to what you say, asks probing questions to get to the bottom of who you are beyond your job, constantly sings the praises of his fellow BNI members, giving little tidbits about them to other members that he found out in his member one-on-one meetings. He goes above the call of duty when he can't help you find someone for you who can. I know I can go to him for advice on just about anything under the sun, and he will know the answer. What can I say? The man is brilliant. Givers Gain Award for Referral Pros, Mr. Roy Nakamura.
Da, 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 da. We need like traveling music. One second to reshuffle the pages here. It's so fascinating to read these nominations. For those of you that didn't send in a nomination, I encourage you to do so because it's really one of those ways that you can help somebody with their business. I got so many nominations from this gentleman. It was quite interesting. This person passes a ton of referrals. Sharing every week, enthusiasm and love for life are infectious. Always has something positive to share. And did I mention a lot of referrals? And always testimonials. Upbeat attitude, always proactive. And did I mention more referrals? What people appreciate is that Givers Gain means that they're giving a lot of referrals. The Northwest winners is Anthony Mosley. Sorry, they said it, I didn't. And it's true.
You're the best, Anthony.
Creativity is the word of the day for the West Side winners. This person continues to bring referrals and find different ways to promote our chapter, to promote the members, making the visitors feel comfortable. The overwhelming comments were that this individual made me feel so welcome as a guest, and then helped me to feel comfortable the second time I came and remembered me. Continues to find different ways, brings referrals, a light on a dark Wednesday morning. A light on a dark Wednesday morning. Isn't that amazing? Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Eugene Mirage. He's flashing.
Are you the Geico director?
He is the Geico guy.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach.
No, thank you. This young lady is so committed to BNI and the Leaders Chapter members. Always early, always in attendance, and always willing to help out and contribute. Has the most thorough follow-up skills of anyone I have ever met, inside or outside of BNI. Miss Consistency. Such a positive attitude, she's never met a scenario that she can't find a solution for. Please help me honor Ally Richter. Miss Consistency. Givers Gain Chapter. Constantly finding ways to promote our chapter. It sounds like Eugene all over again. This is Eugene remix. Constantly finding ways to promote our chapter. Always welcoming visitors, bringing lots of visitors, trying to find new ways to network with our chapter, helping us grow our chapter. Always willing to jump in and do something. Never says no. Sometimes might wish he did, but always willing to do something. And always willing to help our chapter grow. And unfortunately, he can't take a picture of himself because it's Wayne Wallace. And because a certificate just didn't seem like enough, thank you, Wayne, I mean, people say there's no such thing as emergency photography, but when my husband needed a headshot that had to go on a poster in a casino because he plays the piano, he called Wayne got her done, and he loves that picture so much, it's his Facebook picture. And I think that this leadership coach book will be something that you'll truly enjoy. Thank you. Thank you, Wayne. Did I mention that we passed over 12,000 referrals already this year? Did you know that 10 people out of 322 passed 1,264 of those referrals? Over 12% of the referrals that everybody passed. 7 of them met yesterday morning. 3 of them are here this morning. We actually have 2 people who are fighting over number 1. They're at 207 and 214 for the year. Yeah, they're both in the Green Valley area, so we got to get some serious referral givers on this side of town, as they could say. But I cannot say enough about these 3 individuals because they have brought close to 100 referrals each, combined, each. Frank Murphy, Pam Day, Tim Wilson, come on up. For those of you who don't know about referral giving, how many of you would like introductions because introductions are easier to close than cold calls, right? Here's what this certificate says. It's actually just above and beyond. Opportunity presents itself as a door to a new level of success. One can knock and knock and never get through. You've been the key. Unlocking new opportunities and taking us places we never thought possible, seizing the opportunity to improve every day. Thank you for opening the door. Give her a big hand. Come on up. Figure out a way to we either can come up or go. We're going to. This podium is not walk friendly. So I apologize, Frank. You can fold it over somehow. Pam. I think Tim's at 97. Pam's consistent. Pam and Tim and Frank have consistently brought a ton of referrals, and we thank you.
Okay, here we go. Ready? One more, Frank.
Thank you.
One more.
Thank you.
There we go. Ready? Good.
How many of you were visitors before you joined your BNI chapter? Just checking. And yet one more time, above and beyond, bringing visitors. And again, some have become customers. Some of you have gotten referrals from those visitors. Some of them have joined the chapter. Some of them are simply going to talk about BNI and it'll cause business to boomerang back into another city. Givers Gain works with this local business to have global network. That's how we end up with people in 139,000 members in 48 countries. And chapters opening in Vietnam because somebody knew somebody who knew somebody. And people are giving referrals and growing their business. The individuals that came from Vietnam brought one of the members in Vietnam does custom portraits with gemstones on the picture.
Wow.
They're either crushed or in pebbles, and they're actually all colors are gemstones. The most unique businesses worldwide, manufacturing businesses, people who do consulting around the world, and so we're actually creating this global network. These three individuals, between them, have brought over 60 visitors. This year alone, please help me thank Wayne, Shane, and Peter Randall. Wayne Wallace, Shane Wexley, and Peter Randall.
Wait, there's more!
So if bringing referrals and visitors is something that you still struggle with, here's 3 guys to take to lunch. Dinner or a one-to-one. Come on up, Lyndon. Kenny?
Is that working? Yeah.
Works for me.
All right. All
Woo!
right.
Thank you so very much. Every year, the directors are given an opportunity to give a Founders Award. And the criteria continues to go up to qualify because it's for less than 10%, the top 10% of the chapters in the world. Did I mention now that the average chapter size has gone up? The average number of referrals has gone up. So making the top 10% has become harder. Used to be the 3-minute mile was tough. Now people are trying to do 2-minute miles, right? So now BNI chapters are saying if we can bring 5 referrals each a month, that's what we're here to do. So they just keep raising the bar on each other. 21 years ago, I said, why would anybody meet at 7 in the morning? Please let me start a lunch group, Ivan. Okay, don't tell anybody. I don't know if it'll work. It's 90 minutes, it doesn't matter. And this last conference, we found out that we've got chapters that meet everywhere from 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Because it's 90 minutes and it's a business meeting when people can fit it into their day. So it doesn't have to be about breakfast, it doesn't have to be about lunch. But consistency is something that's hard to maintain. And what ends up happening is you start building a room full of leaders, people who are always willing to step up for each other. That it doesn't matter who's sitting in the chair, everybody that's with them is helping them. Every person makes the commitment to bring everything that they have to the table. You have 34 members. We introduced this traffic light idea a few months ago, and they said, green is where we're going. And they got there in a hurry. Those of you who don't know what the traffic lights are, somebody next to you can probably explain it to you, but we're going to be talking a lot about that over the next years and into the future. So, Lyndon, do you have something else to say about this group?
Put me on the spot, but I can always talk about these guys. This group is an amazing group of people that I've come to really love over the last few years that I've been associated with and got to know all the members, and so we're just really excited. So I can't put it into words because I have such great relationships with so many of the people in this chapter, and it's just been, they've really become a key part of my life. They're an amazing, exemplary part of what BNI is all about. So Leslie. Founders Award, 2011, Referral Pros chapter. Come on up, guys. Everybody do that. Oh, and did I mention they're a lunch group? So.
Presidente, we might want to do this down here.
No, up and down.
Do it down here?
Up and down.
Up and down. Up and down, but
Up and down.
some here, you can hold it up.
Just crowd in.
Crowd in, come on, whoever can fit.
Actually, you're tall. Why don't you go up top?
Come on, Linda, down here.
We want Linda there with us.
Yes, Lyndon, you're part of it. Can you see? Are you okay?
Everybody in here is a real photographer, too.
Oh, wait, there's
One
still
more?
flashing. There's still
Are we done?
Are we through flashing? Wait, I'm done.
Thank you. My mic. That's it. Oh, I thought you said two. Dude, I have the mic.
Give me a mic, it's over.
I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 past presidents here today. Telling stories is what we're going to become so good at. We all have a BNI story, whether it's a referral that we got, or someone that we met, or a skill that we've mastered because somebody helped us, or just learning how to talk to people of the opposite sex just by going to a workshop or reading a book. Steve Goldstein, the other director, and myself, so how many of you have met Steve? Over the last 7 years that he's been here in BNI, we went to a workshop that we're going to have Hazel Walker. Did I mention that Ivan was embarrassed having his 2 kids up on the stage? Or would that be true?
Yep.
Yeah. You can't have these 2 firecrackers up with Ivan and not be embarrassed because he was panicked because this was free speaking. But Hazel is a wonderful trainer, and I'm working towards having Hazel come to teach this class. It's called Room Full of Referrals. As there are differences between men and women and the ways that we network, there's also different personality styles. Have any of you ever taken a DISC profile or heard of it?
Yeah.
It's like a basic personality style, and it's our default on how we respond to people. Did you know that different styles network differently? And is there any one person you've met that kind of makes you feel uncomfortable because they talk really quick and say, "Hi, nice to meet you. Where's my referral?" They might be high D's. And there might be some high I's who are woo all the time. We're the promoters, but I mentioned I'm on an I. And the S are the nurturers. They're the enablers. They're the ones that do everything for everybody and don't make them do it themselves. And then we've got the examiners, the ones that are so with on task with everything that if you ask them for an appointment, they have their appointment calendar in their head. Do you know somebody like that? And you think, man, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. So it's a wonderful program that we'll be able to offer next year so that we can learn how to actually open conversations, introduce people to other people based upon their style, and help them to want to network with us who have a different style than they do. Because we need to work smarter, not harder. So it's going to be wonderful to have Hazel come. I'm working on having Hazel come. She's going to be out on the book tour, but we're still going to have Hazel come and do it. She's been my friend for years, and she is quite the character. So today we're here to honor each other. And so we're going to have 30 seconds to give a testimonial. Who has a stopwatch or an app for that? Raise your hand. So we're going to have 2 people timing. Michelle's 1. Who else? Well, Michelle can start, but we've got 30 seconds. Can you ding against a glass to hear the ding? We need to actually be on task so we can promise to be out of here at 9 o'clock as we promised. And I know we can do it. Okay, so we've got 2 timers. So when people start, here's what we're going to do. I am married to a musician. We get 1 clap. Linda, can you hold this? So when somebody stops talking in your head, oh, sorry, I just keep shouting. So in your head, say 1, and then do this. 1. Micah, you're a musician. Can you keep time? 1. There we go. So Michelle, would you like to start? And we'll go here, and I'll just keep going around, and we'll get the microphone to the person who's speaking, just in case you don't feel comfortable shouting out, okay?
Do I have to ding myself?
I'll ding.
Ready? Ready. The person I have a testimony